So hey guys, what if I told you that you can create your very own Google Drive at your home so that you don't have to worry about monthly payment, subscriptions, privacy, and the good part is that you will be able to access these files from anywhere in the world. And to do this setup, even your old hardware like this IdeaPad 310 which I purchased in 2017 when I went into college, you'll be able to set it up on old hardwares like this. I couldn't get a job, but my old laptop from my engineering days will finally get one today. Anyway guys, just a quick question before beginning. Would you trust your own server or some other cloud storage? Let me know in the comments down below. So this laptop is so old that it doesn't even work without a charger. So I have to keep it plugged in order to use it. Anyway guys, I remember creating a video like this 4 years back, but in that video we only made a Samba server and we could only access it within our network. But today we are taking a step ahead and making a server which will be able to access from anywhere in the world. So I'll leave the links in the description for each and every command, each and every software that I will use throughout this video. First of all, obviously guys, you'll need this software called Rufus. It is a very lightweight software which makes your pen drive bootable, as obviously we'll be installing the Ubuntu server from this pen drive and later installing Tailscale to access our files over the internet. Anyway guys, you'll need to head over to this link, download this Ubuntu, and you need to download Rufus. I already have both these files, that's why I'm not downloading it right now. So what you need to do, you need to plug in your USB, you'll need to open Rufus, and guys from here you need to select your USB. I am using a 64 GB pen drive for this. After this you'll need to select the Ubuntu server which you have just downloaded. So I'll just click on it, and guys you don't need to change anything from here, you just need to click on start. So I've already made this pen drive bootable, that is why I haven't clicked on start. Anyway, this is all what you need to do from your computer. After this you'll need a laptop in which you want to install this Ubuntu software. So guys, for this I'm using a 120 GB SSD, and guys in this laptop I have also installed a caddy. So as these old laptops used to get this CD drive, so guys, as you can see, I have attached a 1 TB hard disk to this caddy and I have inserted it into this CD driver port. If you want to know how I did this, again guys, I have a 4-year-old video in which I told you step by step how to install this. So guys, with this I'll be able to use 120 GB plus an additional 1 TB as my server storage. Anyway guys, after this you'll need to install this bootable pen drive. Insert this bootable pen drive into your laptop, and guys you need to power it on and you need to press the F12 key. Sometimes you need to press the FN key and the F12 key. So in my case I have pressed the FN key and the F12 key in order to reach this boot menu. So inside this boot menu you need to select your pen drive. So currently my pen drive is not being detected here, I don't know why. Wait. So I'll restart my laptop. And guys, in some of the cases you need to disable secure boot as well. To disable secure boot you need to press the F10 key in order to enter the BIOS setup. Currently I am pressing the F12 key as I need to enter the boot menu, not the BIOS setup. Anyway guys, as you can see, the pen drive is now being detected. It is the Linpus Lite iXpen. I'll just click on enter, and guys from here we need to click on try and install Ubuntu server. Guys, I highly recommend you to connect a LAN cable while you set up your Ubuntu server, as it will update all the necessary files which we need while installing this Ubuntu. So I'll do the same. I'll just go and connect it to the LAN cable which is lying right over there. And so alright guys, as you can see I've connected a LAN cable to this laptop, and like I just told you, it will update all the necessary files so that we don't have to do it afterward. Doing this afterwards takes a lot of effort and it wastes a lot of time as well. So guys, now you just need to follow these steps. You need to click on English, yes, English layout. Now you just need to click on done, as we are installing this Ubuntu server, the complete setup. So guys, as you can see my Ethernet is working, and guys like I told you, I highly recommend you connecting a LAN cable. So just need to click on done, leave this empty, just wait for a few seconds as it will test the mirror locations. You just need to click on done. After this, now you need to select the disk on which you want to install this Ubuntu. So this is a disk in which I want to install it, that is my SSD. I'll just click on done. So it will automatically create some partitions. Just click on next. So now you need to give your username, hostname and password. So we'll skip this part, and this is the most important part. We need to install this SSH server so that we can control a Linux device from another machine, that may be your laptop or your mobile phone. So I'll just click on done. So we don't need to install any of these things. We'll install some files later, and we'll just click on done. And guys, now this process will take some time. Basically the installation is happening right now. Finally the installation is complete, and I'll just click on reboot now. So as you can see, the system is rebooting, so it's asking me to remove this installation media. Now just click on enter. Now my computer will restart. So now we just need this IP address, which is 192.168.1.38 for me. It obviously will be different for you. So now you can wirelessly control your server. As you can see, my server is lying there, through your laptop or your computer, whatever you want. Now you can give your old computer a rest. So alright guys, now you need to type in cmd and you need to open your command prompt. I'll just click on run as administrator, and inside it you need to type in ssh ssh space harsh, which will be your username, @192.168.1.38. This is the same local IP address which we just captured from a Raspberry Pi. We'll just click on yes, and guys, we'll enter the password. And as you can see, now we are inside our server. And guys, again, I'll leave the links in the description to each and every software, each and every command which I am typing, so you can just copy and paste it from there. So first of all, it is recommended that you update your Linux. So we'll just type in sudo apt update. We'll enter the password. Okay, so again, I guess it's incorrect. No, it's correct. So guys, this will update all. So this will update all your Linux directories. After this, you need to type in sudo apt upgrade. So we'll click on enter, and this process will completely depend upon your internet speed. And let me just fast forward it. And now you need to install Samba on your computer or on your server. So you'll type in sudo apt install Samba, and you just click on enter. Yes. And now you need to create a folder using this command. Like I told you, I'll leave the links in description for each and everything. mkdir, basically this is the command which we use to create a new folder in Linux. We'll just click on enter. The new folder is created. After this, you need to head over to the Samba shared directory using this. And now you need to head towards the bottom of this page, and you need to enter a few commands. So this is the command which you need to enter. So basically we are just giving a mount point to our server. So I'll just type in internal SSD on server. So this is a name that I have given it. So we can skip this comment part as we don't need any comment here. We need to type in the path. And as I want to use my internal hard drive as well, so I'll just type in another block. So I'm just showing you how to mount another hard drive on the same server. So as you can see, basically you need to type in this 6 lines. And if you don't want to mount your internal hard drive, then only these 3 commands would do. So we'll just click on Control X. Yes, we'll click on save buffer, and we'll just click on enter. So now we need to restart our Samba server using this command. We'll just do it. Now the server is restarted. It is recommended to type in this command as well. So yes, the rules are updated, and now you need to enter the password for your Samba server. So the password which we entered in the beginning was the password for your Ubuntu server. Now this password will be for your Samba server, which you'll enter in your mobile or your laptop in order to access your hard disk or your SSD. Yes, so now it will ask you for your password, and boom, user added. And basically I'll just restart the Samba server again. And guys, basically that is pretty much it. So now you need to head over to your so now you need to head over to this PC, and guys, you'll go onto your network. You'll click on map network drive, and from here you need to type in the same IP address which you just got. This will be 1.38. I'll just click on finish. Okay, so it's not working. So I'll just click on browse, and I'll just open it. Okay, so now I need to enter the username and the password which we just created, and I'll just click on remember my credentials. Okay, so due to some reason it is not allowing me to sign in into my own server. So let me just restart my PC. I really don't know why this is happening. This may happen to you as well. Just restart your computer and we'll just see after restarting if it now allows me to sign into my server. So now we'll do the same process again. Let me just fast forward it. And yes, now we'll get it hopefully. Yes, so guys, as you can see, now I'm able to sign in to this server. And guys, the speed is not very fast, but still it's manageable. It's around 24 mbps. And now if I go into my PC, so guys, as you can see, I'll be able to see this internal storage. The same thing I can do on my iPhone as well. So in order to see the server on my iPhone, I just need to go on to this file. From here we need to click on these three dots. We need to click on connect to server, and we need to type in smb dot colon smb colon dot forward slash, and we need to type in our IP address. We need to click on this button. We need to enter our username and the password. So as you can see, I'm able to access this server on my iPhone as well. And this is the same file which we are copying from our computer. So now this was the part through which we'll be able to access our server within our home, within our own network. Now we'll install Tailscale, and using Tailscale we'll be able to access it from anywhere in the world. That is the cool part. This was a little boring stuff. So now we'll install Tailscale on it. You just need to type in this command. Again guys, I'm telling you, I'll leave the links in the description for each and everything, so you don't need to worry. We'll just enter the password again. Now the Tailscale will install onto our SSH server, our Linux Ubuntu server. Yes, this is installed. Now we need to type in sudo tailscale up. We'll click on enter. Now this will give us a link. So guys, you need to click on this link and paste it in your browser, and now you need to log into this Tailscale using your Google, Microsoft, GitHub or whatever account you want. The login is now successful. Now we need to head over to the CMD again. Now we need to type in Tailscale IP. So this will give us the IP address. So now this is not your usual IP address. Using this IP address, you'll be able to log in from anywhere in the world. So now I'll not show you accessing the file on my computer, guys. I'll show it on my mobile device. So guys, now I'm recording this video on a later date, as yesterday I forgot to screen record this on my mobile. Anyway guys, you need to download this Tailscale application, and if you want to access the files on your computer outside your network, then also you need to download the Tailscale for your computer. So guys, I'll just click on open it, and guys, this will install a VPN onto your mobile phone. So guys, as you can see, it's asking me to add a VPN configuration. I'll just click on allow, and I'll just enter my password. After this guys, you need to sign in to the same email account which we just did while setting up Tailscale on a Linux machine. And guys, now I have signed in to this Tailscale application. Guys, this Tailscale application works fine with your files which we have by default in our iPhone. So guys, we'll just need to click on these three icons. We need to click on connect to server, and here we need to type in smb colon 2 forward slash, and now we need to type in the IP address which we got from our Tailscale application. So guys, I'll not enter my local IP address which was 192.168.1.38. That IP address allowed me to access my network within my Wi-Fi network, but this time I'll enter that IP. I'll also turn off my Wi-Fi. So guys, as you can see, currently I'm on my LTE network, and guys, now you need to enter that same name and password. You just click on connect, and guys, let's see. So mobile data doesn't work properly inside my studio, but let's give it a try, or else I'll go upstairs and try this again. No guys, it's not working. So alright guys, due to lack of internet signal inside my studio, this is not working fine. So let's just quickly go upstairs and try this again. And now please excuse me for this voice, as I'm not inside my studio, I'm at my terrace. And as you can see, currently I'm not connected to any Wi-Fi, even my Wi-Fi is off, and I'm connected to my 5G network. So now I'll go into my files and I'll just do the same process again. I'll just click on this continue button. And as you can see, now I'm inside the same server on my 5G network, and now I can even access the files. So let's see the file which we just transferred inside the studio. I'll just click on it and I'll be able to play it most probably. Yes, definitely I'll be able to play it. And as you can see, currently I'm on my 5G network. That is why the streaming is also pretty good. The latency is also very minimal. So again, as you can see, I'm on my 5G network. So basically this is how you can access your files. And now let's just go back to the studio for the outro. Basically guys, this is how you can make a Ubuntu server at your home with your very cheap hardware. Guys, if you have any doubt, let me know in the comments down below. I will personally reply to each and every one of you if you have any doubt. Basically guys, I think that stuff was pretty much it for this video. And if you guys have made it till the end, just drop a like. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace, and I'm out.